How much did you change as a coach if you changed from Iowa to Minnesota? What was the change or what was the evolution from assistant to head coach?
Um, when you're assistant, you can kind of pick and choose. If there's a problem, okay, if the team doesn't win or if something goes wrong, you can walk away from it, okay? Being a head coach is no different than being a leader in anything. And that's the one thing that everybody wants to be the leader until they are the leader. Because with the leader comes unbelievable responsibility. There's no way to slide sideways. Okay, now there's a lot of people that slide sideways when they're leaders, but basically, like I think it was Truman said, the buck stops here. Okay, there's nobody to blame it on. You have to own it. You know, as an assistant coach, you know, you can go pick 3 or 4 guys, work with them, they do good. Hey, I'm doing great. Okay, but how do you get those other 4 guys to do what they need to do? Okay, that's harder. It's inherently harder. But you don't have to do it when you're assistant. You can kind of pick and choose. When you're a head coach, you're responsible for everything. And you're responsible for how do I get these 4 guys to where they need to go. And that makes it harder, infinitely harder.
You had a chance to do that as an assistant in 1984 because Gable was the head coach of the Olympic team and he took some time off. So you were kind of taking that head coaching role. What was that like to take that over? Because I think you actually went to an Oklahoma State meet, lost 24-6, and I think Gable flew back in from Tbilisi. What was that experience like, taking over in that role?
Well, what happened is that Gable was going to be the coach, and so I became the coach of the Iowa team for the year. And so we wrestled Oklahoma State. We got beat 24-6 or something. Gable came back, and we ended up going back to kind of the same way it was before. But the whole thing is that it was going to be that way one way or another. It didn't really make any difference for me who was supposedly in charge and who wasn't in charge. What really is can we get what we need to get out of these guys? And that when you really find people that work well together, you're really not worried about who's going to get any kind of response for what goes on. What you're going to do is you're looking towards the end result. You know, can you get these guys where they need to get? Who cares who gets the glory as long as you get what you want to get? And this is what we were talking about before. You know, is that in a team deal, we're here to get the guys across the finish line. And so who can work best with them? Who relates best to them? Okay, different people, you know, you guys say, who do you work best with? I'm sure you have an idea of someone you'd like to work for that just allows you to be who you are and do these wonderful things. It's the same thing in coaching. You know, it's to find the guys. And usually I found when I was at Iowa and Minnesota, people gravitate to the people that they think will help them. I mean, people seem to gravitate to what they need, okay? And then sometimes they don't. Sometimes you got to take some guys and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, you know? I mean, we had a kid named Keith Nix at Minnesota, and he was a thoroughbred. But Keith wasn't a really hard worker. And so it was, say, hey, you're going to be here, and you do A, B, C, D, and E, and then he responds. And so the key is, it's not bad about anybody, okay? The key is, what do you need to pull the potential or get the potential out of this kid? And different people have different reasons. And the thing that you got to do is find out what it is. You got to find that hook, because if you find the hook, then you can get them where you want them to go.